And some of you are going to think I'm even more nuts than what I've just admitted to being. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. So today I have an update video, which is basically an update of the bags and items I've sold and why. Now, I did one of these videos last year in 2020, but if you've been watching my unboxing videos, and I don't know what order these videos will come out in, whether or not it'll be this video first or the unboxings, or I think maybe on my wish list as well, I have been chatting a bit about how in the start of 2021, January and February, I have been looking through my wardrobes, trying to be a little bit more ruthless about what I actually wear, what I don't wear, what I use, what I don't use. We all know, if you've been here before, you will know that I absolutely hate selling handbags. I absolutely do not buy handbags to sell them. I really struggle to detach from handbags. I struggle to let them go. I'm one of these people that gets very sentimentally attached to things. I will attach memories to it, where we were, what we were doing, what we bought it for. And if there's an issue like that or something that stands out in my mind like that about an item, I will really struggle to detach from it and let it go. And that has happened to me with so many bags or so many things over the years that I know that I haven't been using anymore, that I have then struggled to let go. But I have tried to really focus my mind at the start of the year and focus on the things that I really wasn't wearing or using. Now, I was trying to also look through it as not just what I haven't used being 2020, because there's a huge amount that I haven't really used in 2020, but I know it's because of the year and now 2021. But looking at the things that I know that I just don't wear anymore or I don't use anymore and letting them go. So I have been doing that, and I have then the money that has come back in, some of that money, because there's been quite a few bits that I have actually sold and let go. Some of them you've probably never even seen on this channel. Some of them were fine jewellery pieces that wouldn't have been designer, so I haven't shown them ever before. So there was a bit of money that came in. Now I have allowed myself a part of that to get some new things that I've been looking for, some things on my wish list, and put some things back into my wardrobe, and some of it I have kept in savings, really just because of the crazy world order and we don't know what's going to happen. So just by way of update, things that I have sold, the first bag that I no longer have is the YSL Lulu, and I will put a picture in of what has gone to let you guys know. I said before, whenever I was talking about this bag, that I had never ever used it. It was still in absolute brand new condition. It still had the tags and the stickers attached. It had never left this room. And that's just, it's a waste. I can't have bags sitting behind me that look pretty, because the thing with that bag is I absolutely loved the colour of it. The colour was so soft and buttery and warm, and I loved the colour. So every time I looked at it, I then struggled to think about letting it go, because I really liked the colour, but I never ever wore it. And anytime I thought about wearing it, it was in the back of my head, if you're going to sell that, you shouldn't use it, which is not a good sign. And also I would go to the Chanel 19 instead, which I absolutely love. So I did sell it. I sold it to one of my subbies, and I have to say, it was the most seamless, easy, lovely transaction. If selling bags was like that all the time, I think I would probably buy different bags to try out with a bit more confidence, thinking, well, I can sell them and let them go, because it was so lovely and so just, it was just really stress-free, and it was lovely. So one of my subbies has that now, and they sent me a picture of it on their shelf with their collection, and it looks absolutely fabulous. So I'm really delighted that that went to a home of someone who's actually going to love it and use it, because it's a beautiful bag, and it was wasted sitting in there just not getting the use. So that is gone. I have also sold the Louis Vuitton Brea, and the reason that I really struggled with that is the colour. It's basically the same colour as this, which we all know is my absolute favourite colour. And the Brea was, it was called Magenta. It was a very deep pink in the, wrong way, in the Vernet leather from Louis Vuitton, the kind of patent leather, and it was absolutely perfect because I have had that bag, I think, 5 or 6 years. And I would say in that time I used that bag 3 or 4 times. And when I did use it, it was because I remembered that I hadn't used it and would force myself to use it, which is just not good. Now the colour's absolutely stunning, and then I got this one as well, which is the same colour, and I had to have a real word with myself about, you are just keeping that bag because you love the colour, but it's just not getting used. And as I say, when I had used it, it's because I had consciously thought, you need to use that bag. I took the decision to let it go. I sold it to Designer Exchange in London. The thing with it being a colour and not, like the rose gold mini that's in there somewhere that's so sought after, but if it's a colour like that, you will quite often lose quite a lot of money on the bag, and I did lose money on the bag. The bag was in pristine condition. I still had the receipt. I don't even want to think about it. But I did lose money on it, but at least it is now money back in to the funds for things that I will use and love and wear more often, because sitting on that shelf, it was a complete loss. Like I never ever used it. It was a complete loss of money sitting in there. Another reason why I struggled to sell it was my husband and I had been in Manchester. I had walked in, saw the colour, fell in love, impulsive, bought it. And because we'd bought it when we were in Manchester on a little mini trip that we take lots of before the world shut down, Sentimental Sally struggled to detach and let it go. Okay. All right. And then the next thing that I have sold that you guys would have seen on my channel is the Louis Vuitton flat card holder in reverse. Now, I spoke about this before, and I know that the reason that I didn't use the reverse monogram flat card holder is because at the same time I bought it, I also bought the card holder in the Escale print, which is pink and red and vibrant and bright colours. And I love pink and red and vibrant and bright colours. So once I bought that, the reverse monogram became available and the Escale came available really, really shortly after. And I saw that one available, bought it, then bought that one and should have returned the reverse, and I didn't. I just thought, because I went crazy in 2020, as we know, I just thought I'll keep that as well, and then I never ever used it. And it was just a waste, and I have spoken before about how in 2020, whenever we went into lockdown and more items became available on the Louis Vuitton website that normally are very hard to get, I went nuts. And I was just add to bag, PayPal, Monopoly money, add to bag, buy, add to bag. Seriously? Nobody needs to buy that amount of SLGs in such a short time. Now, some of them, don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore and use and are so glad that I got them into my collection, but I did go crazy. So I let go of the reverse monogram card holder. I also let go of, and some of you are going to think I'm even more nuts than what I've just admitted to being, because I also let go of my 6-ring key holder from Louis Vuitton in the monogram with the fuchsia interior and the fuchsia button. And I know I can hear some of you coming down the internets to me. What are you doing, you crazy woman? That is one of the best SLGs you can possibly have. And it is, and I totally agree with you, but I have the 4-ring key holder. And no matter how many times I looked at it and how many times I thought about it, I had never ever used the 6-ring key holder. And when I thought about changing into it and maybe putting a credit card in the back and just using it like that, I knew I wasn't going to do it, because I don't take my keys out of the 4-ring key holder. I don't need the extra space of the 6-ring key holder. I'm going to carry a card holder or something with me anyway, even where it can put the card in the back, and I use mini bags that often, that the 4-ring key holder works really well for me. In my big Neverfull for Work, I have an organiser, so I'm able to put it in one of the slots. It doesn't get lost, but it works really, really well in the mini bags. So I decided to let that go as well, because I felt like it was a little bit wasteful, and I was becoming almost a little bit overwhelmed by how many of these SLGs I had sitting that I wasn't using. And the bags, I just struggled with the thought of adding more bags in whenever there were bags that I just wasn't using. So that is also gone. Another thing that has gone, and I never admitted to you on this channel before, just how far the craziness went in 2020. Louis Vuitton, had the bag addiction. So I have the key clay in monogram and I have the key clay in damier ebene, and both of them have different things in them and are in my work bag. Both of them go to work on a daily basis. But whenever the hard to find items became available, now I already had the monogram key clay, but the monogram key clay became available on Louis Vuitton's website last year and I added the bag and bought it. Like, I already had one that is in perfect condition. No problem with it, perfect condition. But I bought a backup. Because I thought to myself, and it made sense at the time whenever all the crazy add to bag was going on, but something could happen to my monogram one. Oh, and I have a damier, but something could happen because my job is, I go out and wrestle lions during the day, not... what was possibly going to happen to both of these? Yes, accidents can happen, and yes, the prices keep going up and up, but I don't need to have a drawer of backup SLGs whenever my own version is like brand new. It's like perfect condition, and I just thought that I really went a bit nuts, and that was a bit crazy. So I let that go as well because I just don't need to have a backup for that setting. I also had a spare, and now stay with me, that's not as bad as it sounds. I had a spare Nice Mini. Now, we all know, if you've watched my channel before, I absolutely love the Nice Mini. It's sitting over there looking at me with the organiser in it and all my makeup in it, and I think it's fabulous. It's one of my favourite Louis Vuitton pieces. What you might not know, depending on what videos you've watched before, is that my mum had a stroke in 2019, at the end of 2019. And she went from being very, very fit and active and young to being hardly able to move for a while. Now, she has come on a lot, all down to her own strength and determination. But I had bought her the Nice Mini when it became available. She had, when we were getting work done on this house, she had let myself and my husband and my pregnant belly and then two babies, my son, and then I was pregnant, and then when the baby came and my two dogs all move down into her home. And I had bought her the Nice Mini as a thank you whenever it became available. Now, she wouldn't be a Louis Vuitton lover. She wouldn't be a designer person. She would cringe and have a fit at this. She would think it would be very wasteful. And just how we grew up, not having very much money, I don't think she could ever countenance the thought of spending these sorts of prices on a bag. To her, it would be very much just a bag, and you are spending stupid money on a bag, would be my mum's take. She's probably not wrong. She's probably got some sense in there. But I had thought the Nice Mini, because it could sit on her desk, on her vanity and her makeup and stuff in it. But it became apparent that her recovery, her hands wouldn't just recover that much fully. And I don't think that she could use the zip and work it. And I actually, the more I thought about it, I thought it would actually be upsetting for her to have, because I thought that it would upset her. No, and she doesn't watch this channel, she doesn't know it exists, so I know I'm not going to be upsetting her by saying this, but I thought that it would upset her having it there and she couldn't open the zip. So I let that go as well. Now we had already, because I knew that wasn't going to work, and we'd already bought her a hotel break to Loch Esk, actually, which is, there was a vlog on this channel, it's where I got married. It's the most stunning place. And I think that that's something that she will enjoy much more. So I also let that go. I also let go, as I said, I had some fine jewellery that I just didn't wear. And I know that I won't wear. My taste has changed. It's just stuff, it's not even stuff, I don't have a daughter, so it's not stuff that I would hand down. I just know it would never be worn. So I sold some fine jewellery. I sold some watches. I sold some shoes. I sold, if I can find pictures, I sold a pair of black Louboutin boots. I sold a pair of Gucci heels. I think, well, actually they're still listed, but at the time when I'm filming this, so they're up for sale. I sold some other Louboutins that I don't actually know if I've got a picture of, but I loved them, but they were half a size too small. and I knew that they just weren't comfortable, so I sold those. I then also sold, and I'm only picking out of the rest of the stuff, I'm picking the highlights. There has been a lot more than that. There were a lot of, I've sold shoes that I can't walk in, not comfortable, that maybe weren't designer or branded. I've sold those. I've sold knee-high boots. I sold a Reese coat, woolen coat that was hardly worn, brand new, stunning, but is just too big for me, because I went through a very difficult period in my life, and I dealt with that by eating my weight and everything that sat around me, and I put on a lot of weight, which I'm still losing. So I had a wardrobe of clothes that are too big, that I hope to never ever need that size again, and I've basically sold them all. And a lot of them were, because I still had to go to work and I still had to wear proper clothing, a lot of them were higher end, not designer, but higher end and very good quality. So I sold the Reese coat, sold most of those clothes. I then also had to accept to myself that there was a whole wardrobe of stuff that's never going to fit me again, because hips aren't the same with the babies, belly isn't ever going right back into where it's going to be, and as much as the weight's coming off, it's a struggle, and I just don't think I'll ever be that size again. So the stuff that when I opened the wardrobe and made me feel awful because I'm not going to fit again, I sold that as well. So a lot of stuff has went. So I know you're going to be seeing unboxings coming in and things coming in, but I have let go of a lot, and I'm still doing it. Bags, SLGs, shoes, designer, but then also a lot of other stuff as well. So that has actually covered what has been coming in, and with other money put away to be sensible, because we just don't know what's going to happen after last year. And I just wanted to give that update with things I've sold and why, because one, I find these videos really, really interesting to see what hasn't worked out for people if I'm looking at them myself or thinking about buying them. And two, I was conscious that it looked like there was a lot coming in, as if I had either won the lottery or not telling you something else. And I just wanted to put that into a bit of context and explain it. I just wanted to update you guys on that. I hope that you have found this enjoyable, especially the stories of the bags and the SLGs that are no more, and that it maybe gives you a bit of insight if you're looking at any of these items. I just want to also say that if you are looking at any of these items, they're fabulous. I wouldn't have bought them in the first place if I didn't love them. They just didn't work out for me, and some of them were because I bought, multiples. Crazy. So I just wanted to put that out because I don't want anybody feeling bad if anything that's on their wish list or they have or they love or they're looking to buy is one of the things that I have said that I let go. But there you go. That is an update on what I have sold and why. I hope that you found this useful and enjoyable. I hope you're well in this crazy time. Please do take care. I hope your family's well. Thank you so much for watching me, and I will see you again in the next one.